Let us step outside the walled city of Akka and follow Baha'u'llah to the mansion of Mazhari. Here, we encounter a fervent believer who, somewhat overzealous and demanding, needed a reminder. You see, Baha'u'llah did not wish to perform for others. It was only through his boundless grace that he revealed his glory to the believers. Among them was the 23-year-old silver-tongued nightingale Ali Muhammadi Varqa, who along with his son Ru'ullah would eventually embrace martyrdom. This was the first time they had the honor of entering the presence of Baha'u'llah. Though he had never seen him before, Baha'u'llah's face appeared familiar to him. He was losing sleep, trying to remember where he had seen him before. Was it in a marketplace? In a believers' gathering? He could get nowhere. One day, Baha'u'llah told him, "Varqa, burn away the idols of vain imaginings." Suddenly, he remembered his dream as a child. He saw in his dream that he was playing in a garden with some dolls when God arrived, and took the dolls and burned them in a fire. When he woke up, he told his parents about it, and they told him firmly that no one could ever see God, and he forgot all about it. Yes, that was where he had seen Baha'u'llah. Imagine, at that time Baha'u'llah was in Baghdad and chose that little boy and appeared in his dream to make him an apostle of Baha'u'llah and a hand of the cause. A few days later, when Varqa was in the presence of the Blessed Beauty and gazing upon his countenance with adoration, a thought occurred to him. He now recognized Baha'u'llah as the supreme manifestation and wished that Baha'u'llah would show him a sign. Suddenly, a sentence from the Quran came to his mind, and he wished that Baha'u'llah would mention it in the course of his conversation. It didn't take long before Baha'u'llah mentioned that verse. Varqa became overjoyed, but then he told himself, could this have been mere coincidence? At that moment, Baha'u'llah abruptly turned to him and said, "Wasn't this sufficient proof to you?" He was dumbfounded, shaken but assured. Baha'u'llah states in the soul-stirring hidden words revealed 2 decades earlier, "O heedless ones, think not that the secrets of the heart are hidden. Nay, know ye of a certainty that in clear characters they are engraved and are openly manifest in the holy presence." One wonders why some don't take heed. I told you that Baha'u'llah often showed a glimpse of his glory and might to those who had recognized him in order to strengthen their faith. The next believer did not take heed, and he was zapped. In Isfahan, there was a believer, a prominent man who accepted Baha'u'llah with his brain as the right prophet for today. He was a new believer and tried hard to overcome his shortcomings, like all of us. But he had no success with his drinking habit, and friends could smell alcohol on his breath. In defense, he would state that his addiction was too difficult, and besides that, he was harming no one, and he was too lowly a servant for Baha'u'llah to be concerned about his private life. Then he had the bounty of attaining the presence of Baha'u'llah. One day, when he was among other believers and Baha'u'llah was pacing back and forth, a thought occurred to him that it is true that Baha'u'llah is the great messenger of God, but he wondered what Baha'u'llah meant when he stated, I am the sender of messengers and the revealer of books. He had not finished his thought when suddenly Baha'u'llah walked to him, put his blessed hand on his shoulder and said, "It is true. We are the sender of messengers and the revealer of heavenly books." How do you like that for a confirmation? Well, he was spellbound, all right. He was zapped in his head with which he had accepted Baha'u'llah. But now he became a true believer and accepted him with his heart and every fiber of his being. After his return from pilgrimage, believers could no longer smell alcohol on his breath. And upon their inquiry, he said, "If Baha'u'llah could read my mind, he surely can see my actions. He is everywhere, omnipresent, and knows everything, omniscient." Friends, what a bounty for those who had a glimpse of his glory and might and lived during his days, when a word, a smile, a look, or his touch was enough to confirm and transform any believer. And what a bounty for us to live in these glorious days, when according to Abdu'l-Baha, the saints and holy ones of the past ages yearned with tearful eyes to live in this day, if even for a moment. He calls this the century of light. 1 century ago, Baha'u'llah ascended. The lamp of his physical being is no longer with us, but his light and spirit surround us. To have recognized him is not enough. We need to become true believers. When we enlist in the army of light and adorn ourselves with the name Baha'i, we become a special spiritual entity, like a candle created from a tub of wax. The exaltation of the candle comes only when it is enkindled. Otherwise, it is just a piece of wax sitting idle in one's corner. Our exaltation comes when we turn to his writings, giving our total submission to his covenant and arise to serve his cause. When we attain the station of a true believer, fulfilling the requirements specified by Abdu'l-Baha, he states that the true believer is the one who says it with his tongue, feels it in his heart, and shows it with action. What a lofty station awaits a true believer. I wish to end my talk with these comforting words of Baha'u'llah. Such is the station ordained for the true believer, that if, to an extent smaller than a needle's eye, the glory of that station were to be unveiled to mankind, every beholder would be consumed away in his longing to attain it. And then we follow that with these confirming words of Baha'u'llah. If the veil be lifted and the full glory of the station of those who have turned wholly towards God and in their love for him have renounced the world, be manifest, the entire creation would be dumbfounded.